The chair recognizes himself for 5 minutes for an opening statement. Thank you all for appearing before us at today's hearing of the Energy and Commerce Committee's Subcommittee on Oversight and Investigations. Defending our nation's critical infrastructure from cyber attacks is an increasingly difficult endeavor for federal regulators and cybersecurity experts. Over the past few years, escalating geopolitical tensions, an uptick in ransomware use, and increased criminal and foreign cyber attack capacity have raised Congress's concerns. The increased interconnectedness of critical infrastructure, such as hospitals, pipelines, and wastewater plants, has furthered the proliferation of operational technology monitored by and connected to online computer systems, which has also heightened risks. Malicious actors are demonstrating an increased willingness and a growing capacity to execute cyber attacks. For example, the Director of National Intelligence reported that China is almost certainly capable of launching cyber attacks that could disrupt critical services in the United States and would almost certainly consider doing so if it feared that a major conflict with our nation was imminent. Russia also remains a top cyber threat and seeks to improve its capabilities to target critical infrastructure. Also, hacking tools are now widely available to criminal organizations seeking to attack businesses large and small. Critical infrastructure is a broad term that refers to physical or virtual systems and assets vital to the United States. Their destruction would debilitate the national economy, public health, and/or security. Often used examples include our highways, utilities, dams, food manufacturing facilities, and emergency medical services. According to the Federal Bureau of Investigation's 2022 Internet Crime Report, of the 2,385 reported ransomware attacks, 870 affected critical infrastructure organizations. Healthcare and public health infrastructure were the most common types of critical infrastructure attacked. Presidential Policy Directive 21 has previously suggested a national framework on monitoring critical infrastructure. Under the fiscal year 2022 National Defense Authorization Act, there are currently 16 defined critical infrastructure sectors. Each sector is assigned a so-called Sector Risk Management Agency. Importantly, Presidential Policy Directive 21 noted that each critical infrastructure sector possesses unique characteristics and risks, and therefore benefits from the specialized knowledge of federal agencies most familiar with regulating that sector. That brings up the witnesses. Joining us today, we have the Department of Energy, which carries out the Sector Risk Management Agency duties for the energy sector, composed of electricity, oil, and natural gas segments, including their production, refining, storage, and distribution facilities. Nearly every industry depends on electricity and fuel. In fact, Presidential Policy Directive 21 identified the energy sector as uniquely critical due to its enabling function for all other critical infrastructure sectors. Subcommittee welcomes Mr. Push Kumar. Did I get close? All right. Director of the Department of Office of Cybersecurity, Energy Security, and Emergency Response. Additionally, we are pleased to have Dr. David Travers from the Environmental Protection Agency's Office of Water. The EPA serves as the Sector Risk Management Agency for water and wastewater, the sector on water and wastewater. Safe drinking water is essential to human health and our nation's economy. But water systems face increasing threats from malicious actors. Last but not least, the subcommittee welcomes Dr. Brian Muzanik from the Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Strategic Preparedness and Response that performs the Sector Risk Management Agency role for the healthcare and public sector, for healthcare and the public health sector. This sector encompasses a diverse array of both publicly and privately owned entities such as the healthcare facilities, research centers, and medical materials supply chains. Today, we hope to learn more about the emerging cybersecurity challenges that specifically threaten each of these sectors and what actions these agencies are taking to prepare for ever-evolving cyber threats. Also, much of our nation's critical infrastructure network includes many non-federal entities like municipalities and private enterprises. We hope to learn more about how agencies partner with other system operators to share information and coordinate efforts across their sectors. We will also examine some of the recent cybersecurity activities at these agencies to identify any legislative opportunities for them to improve their efforts or serve as more effective partners with stakeholders and with those of us in Congress. I thank our witnesses for being here today. I now yield back my time and recognize